Hello, my dear sports betting friends. How are you? Today, I want to discuss with you 5 potential MLB wagers for Wednesday, September 20th. All right, so we have a lot of topics to discuss. I will also reveal the winners of my free NFL contest for week 2. And as I said, we'll discuss 5 potential wagers in baseball. First of all, let's recap yesterday. So the free pick at positive odds, I took the Toronto Blue Jays minus half a run in the first 5 innings of their game at Yankee Stadium. And if I remember correctly, they were up 4-1 after 5 innings. So this was a nice winner, thanks in part to a 2-run home run by Bo Bichette. So I got plus 135 odds on this bet yesterday. Now I added 3 more picks at mjpicks.com. So the premium picks were as follows. In baseball, I also took under 4.5 runs in the first 5 innings of the Mariners versus A's game. In total, only 2 runs were scored after the first half. So this was another winner. And we got pretty lucky with the Padres run line against the Rockies, since the game was scoreless until a 2-run home run was hit in the bottom of the 9th. So this was a winner. However, we got unfortunate with the WNBA bet, a very rare loss. We took under 171.5 points to be scored in the Atlanta Dream against Dallas Wings game. Now, after 3 quarters, it looked like we were going to win. We probably had like an 85% chance of winning, since only 120 points had been scored. But a surprisingly high-scoring 4th quarter really screwed the bet. So now, in the WNBA, show you, we now have, let's make it bigger for you guys. Well, maybe that's going to be too much, 150%. So right now our record in the WNBA is 41-18. So that's a 69.5% winning rate. As you can see, we had 8 in a row prior to yesterday. I still believe it was a good bet, but it ended up losing, unfortunately. All right, so let's get started with today's baseball picks. I want to say hello to some of our friends watching right now. One guy named Make America Great Again. Hello to Richard Renfro. He says he likes the Rangers to win it all. Oh, do you think they have enough pitching? Yeah, it's a good question. They had a pretty rough stretch. Now they seem to be turning the corner again. I think they do have a chance. It could be a good... You can take a shot at the Texas Rangers. I have to admit, I have not investigated these futures bet, but you are giving me a great idea. Maybe I could look into it. But at first sight, they could have a chance indeed. Hello to Austin Dion, to the winning wager, and Mango Colored Sky. Hello, my friends. All right, so let's start. So I'm not fat, says Professor. You won me $400 with the Blue Jays pick. You are very welcome, my friend. All right, so my first pick today goes to the Cleveland Guardians first 5 innings money line. I shared this bet like an hour or an hour and a half ago. At the time, the best odds were minus 125. Now, just before I started this live stream, I realized that the odds have moved. You probably won't be able to get such enticing odds. Maybe you'll have to settle with minus 135, minus 140, depending on your sports book. Now, here are my arguments supporting the Guardians pick. Well, first of all, they will want to avoid getting swept by the Royals, who happen to be division rivals and who are also the 2nd worst team in Major League Baseball. So when you get towards the end of the season, the motivation factor is quite important to me. And in this case, which team is more motivated? Yeah, sure, the Royals are at home, so that motivates them. But Cleveland is the better team, and they really want to win this game. They are not completely out of playoff contention, although their chances are very slim. But there's no way they want to be swept against Kansas City. And also, I like how Giolito is motivated for this game for sure. He has something to prove after a rocky season. Now, after allowing exactly 3 home runs in each of 3 consecutive starts, which was abysmal, he finally broke out of his funk with a stellar performance in his last outing. In fact, he only allowed 2 hits in 7 innings to a strong Texas Rangers lineup. That was quite impressive, and I'm sure he really wants to do very well today again. He wants to prove that he will be ready for the 2024 season. Now, in his career against Kansas City, Giolito holds an 11-5 record along with a pretty good 3.54 ERA. Now, on the other side, the Kansas City Royals will send Zack Greinke to the mound. Now, the 39-year-old hurler seems to be getting tired after a long season. He has not completed 5 innings in any of his past 6 starts, which is incredible. Now, during this period, so over those past 6 starts, he has compiled an 0-4 record along with a 5.73 ERA. Now, obviously, I took the first 5 innings money lines instead of the full game because I want to take full advantage of this pitching matchup where I feel like Cleveland has an edge. All right, so that's all the reasons I have to go with Cleveland in this game for the first half. Now, I do have another pick regarding this same Cleveland versus Kansas City game. So my second pick is to grab the under. So more specifically, under 9 runs. Well, I already told you why I like Giolito to perform well. The Royals don't have a great offense anyway, and the Guardians don't have a great offense either. So this could be a low-scoring game in my opinion. I know I've just said that Greinke has struggled recently, but he's capable of a few good performances, especially against Cleveland, who does not have a top offense in the league. And to me, 9 runs is quite a bit. If you take a look at each team, how the under has fared recently, for Kansas City, if you had bet the under in each of their past 11 games, you would have obtained a 7-2-2 record, which is impressive. And as far as Cleveland is concerned, the past 12 games have generated the under bet to be a winner. 6 times, you would have lost 5 bets and 1 push. So a 6-5-1 record for the under for Cleveland in their past 12 games. All right, so again, I'm taking the Guardians for the first 5 innings, money line, and the under for the full game. All right, let's move on to the third pick of the day, which goes to the under for the first half of the game between the Tigers and the Dodgers. So the best odds that I saw earlier this morning were under 4.5 runs at minus 109 odds. All right, now why do I like this bet? Now we have a couple of rookies facing each other in this game, and both have very similar numbers. For the Tigers, we have Reese Olson. The 24-year-old rookie has been rock solid this season. And it's been even better in his past 4 starts because he has given up just 4 earned runs in 24 innings. Now, if you do the math, that's a 1.50 ERA. a 1.50 ERA in his past 4 starts. And in those 4 starts, he has not allowed more than 4 hits, which is incredibly impressive once again. Now, for the Dodgers will send Bobby Miller to the mound. And like I said earlier, he has pretty similar numbers to Reese Olson. Now, I have to admit, he has not been great in his past 2 starts, but by giving up 3 and 5 runs. But in his prior start, so I'm talking about his 3rd prior start, he only gave up 1 run in 7 innings against a tough Atlanta Braves lineup. Also, the Tigers have scored the 2nd fewest runs in Major League Baseball. So I don't want to sound too confident, but I'm not overly worried about the Tigers screwing our bet by scoring lots of runs early in the game. They don't have a great offense. Bobby Miller is a very capable starting pitcher. So obviously, to me, the X factor is whether Reese Olson will be able to limit the Dodgers offense. Now, in my mind, he will be able to do it. So that's why I took the under in this game. All right, so hello to our other friends who joined the live stream. Levi Aguilera, hello, my friend. He's leaning Atlanta moneyline and Tampa moneyline a parlay at plus 149 odds. Well, stay tuned, my friend, because I'm about to talk about the Phillies versus Braves game. Hello to Nathan L, Brian Garza, Keith Davis, who has been a regular viewer for a long time. Thanks so much for being here, Keith. Jackie Morris, who's asking, who do you like today in the WNBA? I have not analyzed the WNBA games yet for today. My whole morning has been devoted to preparing this MLB live stream, sending my picks, setting up everything. So I will share my WNBA bets in the afternoon or early evening if you are a member at mjpicks.com, of course. Hello to Larry Kelly, who is also here. All right, so let's move on to the 4th pick, which is, and this may be my favorite pick of the day. Sorry about the typo here with the word over, which is spelled with no S at the end. So I'm taking Aaron Nola to pick up over 4.5 strikeouts at minus 130 odds. So I placed that bet with the Bet365 sportsbook a bit earlier. Now, other bookies have a line that varies between minus 135 and minus 150. And here's why I am really excited about this bet. Now, in his last start, Nola struck out just 1 batter. So this was quite unusual for him. However, he exceeded 4.5 strikeouts in his prior 12 starts. So in other words, let's pretend that you had bet over 4.5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola in each of his past 13 starts. Well, you would have obtained a 12-1 record, which is amazing. So to me, that looks like a bargain. And the line may be low because of his last outing. I'm not sure why, but this seems pretty low. Now, I know and I'm aware of the fact that he's facing the Braves, which are a tough team, and they have also struck out the 5th fewest times in Major League Baseball. But still, a 12-1 record, are you kidding me? And if you look at Aaron Nola, when he faced the Braves, well, this year in 2023, he has faced them twice already. And here's the number of strikeouts that he obtained in those games, 5 and 7. So again, in those 2 games, he did exceed the 4.5 threshold. And now I even looked at last year. How did he do against the Braves? Well, let me share my screen. I think it's worth it. So I went on ESPN. I clicked on Game Log, selected 2022. Let's do a search for Atlanta. No, in the right here. So Atlanta here, he struck out 6 batters. Then he played 2 more games against Atlanta here. 8 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts. Right here on July 26, 7 strikeouts. On June 30th, 8 strikeouts. On May 26, 10 strikeouts. I mean, are you seeing a pattern here? So in other words, he faced the Braves 6 times last year, and on each occasion, he did exceed 4.5 strikeouts. So in other words, in the last 8 times he has faced the Braves, the over was a winning bet. I have not looked at 2021. What the heck, let's do it just for fun. I have no idea what we're going to find because I did not look into it. 4 strikeouts, so under, 9 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts. So in 2021, you would have obtained a 3-2 record, which is still a positive record. So to me, this is a great bet. Now, again, maybe the line is a bit low because he has struggled in his past 3 starts. He has presented an 8.56 ERA in those past 3 starts. But in my mind, he clearly has the talent to rebound and pitch well against the Braves. Also, I've noticed that in those 3 prior starts, he has not gone deeper than 5 innings. So in every start, he pitched like 4 1/3 innings or something like that. So he will be better rested for today's game. I really feel like it's going to be a bounce-back game for him and that he will do pretty well. So for all of those reasons, and again, this is probably the pick that I like the most today, Aaron Nola to rack up over 4.5 punch-outs against the Braves. And speaking of that game, and our friend, what was his name again? I was asked by, sorry, I can't find the comment anymore. Levi Aguilera was asking about a parlay with the Braves and the Rays. Well, I do have a lean on this game on the Philadelphia Phillies. So I guess that answers your question that I'm not thrilled about your parlay proposition. I mean, obviously, you are free to do what you want. And if you want to bet it, that's perfectly fine. But if you are asking me, I don't like it too much because I am leaning towards the Phillies at plus 135 odds. Of course, I just told you how I believe Aaron Nola will perform well tonight. He's facing Bryce Elder, who has a good ERA this season. His whip statistic is not as great. The walks plus hits per inning pitched. The league average is 1.30 and his whip stat is 1.22. So he is better than average, but not that much. Also, if I was betting the Braves, I would be concerned about his low strikeout rate. He has struck out just 126 batters in 167 innings. So he is very far from striking like 1 batter per inning on average. And also, I have noticed that Elder has allowed 5 runs or more in 3 of his past 5 outings. So he is susceptible to some bad performances, and I believe this could be one. So right now, you're giving me positive odds, like plus 135 odds on the Phillies, who are a pretty good team. I know the Braves are really a top team, but I feel like Philly could pull off the upset in this game. All right, so let me recap my picks. No, I'll do it a bit later. For now, I just want to congratulate our friend Bill. I'm not sure how to pronounce your last name properly, so I'm not going to attempt it. So Bill, in my Week 2 NFL prediction contest, racked up 104 points. So he is the winner of $100 US in cash. So please contact me via email at winner@professormj.com. So unfortunately, he did not get a perfect score, which was 120, in which case he would have won $1,000. Now, I'm very likely to run this contest again for week 3. We had more than 200 people participating in that contest at mjpicks.com. In second place, congratulations to Ed Sirfos. By the way, I remember seeing you playing in some of my baseball or NHL contests, and you have fared well very often. You are the man, Ed. And as promised, you just won 1 week access to my picks across all sports. So again, you can email me or I will reach out to you. Same for Bill. And in third place, Dion Lightnings, I'm going to contact you as well. By the way, I did a random draw. We had a tie between Dion Lightnings and Yaron Zur, and I did a random draw, and Dion is the winner. So I'm going to contact you to get your prize, which was 1 week access to my football picks only. So thanks everyone for playing in that contest. I really appreciate it. And speaking of the NFL, so the free picks that I shared on YouTube, I took the Giants first half at the Cards. They played poorly in the first half before storming back for an amazing comeback win in Arizona, but that bet lost. And I also took the Saints in the first quarter at the Panthers. Man, they were driving inside the 10-yard line at the end of the first quarter, but could not score a TD. So we had to settle for a push. Now I shared many premium picks. Here are the premium picks on sides and totals. I took the Commanders +4 at Denver. They won the game straight up. And boy, did we get screwed on that bet. The Falcons first half against the Packers. They scored a TD late in the first half, but they missed the extra point. So instead of getting a push, we lost the bet. And then I shared many player prop bets, which year after year tend to be the most lucrative ones. It's much easier to beat player prop bets than to beat sides and totals, simply because fewer people pay attention to them. The lines are not nearly as accurate. Now, in this case, we had 4 wins and 3 losses on player prop bets. Again, we got extremely unlucky with the last one. If you take a look at the last one at the bottom, Nick Chubb over 81.5 rushing yards. I think he had like 64 at the half, but he suffered a big injury to his knee. He's done for the season. But otherwise, we were on our way to an easy win right there. All right. So that's it for today's live stream. Now, I want to mention, I was talking about the NFL. I want to mention something important. I've already told you that I had the intention of doing a live stream at halftime of the 1 p.m. games on Sunday. Now, for many reasons, I was not able to do it in weeks 1 and 2. Well, last week I was in Buffalo to attend the Raiders-Bills game in person. And the week before, my son had a baseball game. But this is it. So in week 3, so around 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I will do a live stream on YouTube to share some second half bets. And for those of you who are not aware yet, let me explain to you how those picks are going to be made. Well, I own a data set that contains data on many NFL seasons. Now, what I do is, suppose you have a team that was a 10-point favorite pre-game, but at halftime, the game is tied. Now, how are we going to handicap this game for the second half? Well, to me, the answer is simple. So I look at past games in my big data set that are similar. So I'm looking for teams that were pre-game favorites by maybe 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points, but that at halftime the game was tied, or maybe they had a small lead, or they were trailing by a small margin, and then I look at what happened. So I'm just coming up with fictitious numbers. So maybe in this case, the team that was favored by 10 points pre-game and who is tied at halftime, maybe the second half line would be -7. So I would look at what happened in the past if you had bet that team -7 points. And suppose we find, I don't know, 50 similar games, and that team would have obtained a 30-20 record. Well, that seems to indicate that we should bet that team favored by 7 points in the second half. Okay, so for every game at halftime, I'm going to look for similar games in the past and see what happened. Now, this strategy has generated good profit for me over the years. So this would be the very first time that I share those bets with the public. And for week 3, it's going to be completely free. Okay, that is likely to change in the future. So I think you should take advantage of this great opportunity, and hopefully you will enjoy it. All right, so I'll be back tomorrow and Friday for MLB picks, and otherwise, I hope you will be there for my live stream of the NFL around 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. All right, so this is Professor MJ. A big thank you for watching this live stream. Hello to Sean Smith, to Phil Hamel, Yuli, and Bill Stuckey who are here. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Cheers, my friend.